Hello, welcome back to Academic Machinery with Fee. I am your host, Fee, and today we'll be talking about how I'm going to plan for my informative speech. And my informative speech is going to be talking about specifically how there there was a U.S. advocacy group that sued Apple over the conflict over minerals in the Congo. And this is tied to so many more harsh conditions that the Congolese people face at the hands of, ultimately, we are contributing to it. And so I wanted to go and call this attention because, yes, we are impacted, but that does not, well, yes, we contribute to it, but that does not mean that we cannot understand where our dollars go. And that doesn't mean that we can't start to be mindful now, because what you did in the past, it's there, but what are you going to do about it in the future? And this is an important topic. However, how will people listen? And I can only do that through methods of persuasion. And this is ultimately an appeal, which is a request made to another person with the intent of influencing them. I'm trying to appeal to you as my audience. I want to go ahead and get more people on my side in order to call attention so we can go and start protesting, getting together as a collective to go and start making an active change. And the persuasive appeal, during my presentation, I would more so work on things such as ethos. And the one way to develop ethos is I would need to know what I'm talking about. So I would just research it and cultivate an expertise in the area to the point where it can be questioned, and I can ultimately answer any questions the audience may have. When it comes to speaking about any kind of topic, especially topics concerning activism, they need to be handled with care. And also, I would demonstrate common sense. I would wear the appropriate clothing, organize my speech in a way that my audience could follow, and I would develop a reputation as someone who can go and be relied on to speak about ethical issues. So even if the audience doesn't know much about me before the speech, it will go and come through as I speak about it. And I would also demonstrate the concern I would have for my audience, because ultimately, when speaking about activism, many activists have the belief that it all comes back around full circle for us. So the whole phrase, "it isn't, we are not free until we are all free," is accurate in the sense of we would need to kind of put a mirror in to say, hey, this is what's happening to this demographic of people, and here's how it ties back to your community. And by mentioning things like that, it shows that I ultimately am looking out for not just the people I'm speaking of, but also the people I'm speaking to. All of this is ethos, which is appealing to the character, appealing to your own wisdom or character as a speaker. And it's the glue that holds both of the rational and emotional appeals together. And when it comes to informative speeches, I feel as though that is the strongest thing that you can put forth for your audience. And I wanted to go and use the public speaking, and you guys might wonder why I would want to build something like this. And I mean, we study public speaking and art of building community, forming others, persuading others, because we don't want to hurt each other, even if society will go and make it seem as though it is natural for us to go and cause such egregious amounts of pain. Nobody wants to cause that fully. And at least that is what I believe, but it's great that we can study public speaking because we have the freedom to do so now. And since it can help avoid violence, perhaps that use of the argument can replace weapons. And yes, I did pull a direct quote, but however, it is very necessary for this conversation. Advocacy helps create decision makers. But the only way to make a decision is by learning, and to be an advocate is to speak and learn about social and political issues and to bring attention to that injustice. So, through the informative speech, I went throughout the process of building at least a good enough outline to know that I am hitting my ethos appeal, that I am doing all of my research to make sure that I handle it with care, and hopefully by speaking about this, I can go and create more of a space that other people will want to go and speak about it more, and it creates a chain. And I understand amongst at least the institution that I'm under that there is a kind of heavy want for things like respectability politics to remain embedded within the student body. But when it comes to social agitation, it's kind of a deliberate violation of widely accepted or sanctioned norms. And that is what we've grown used to. We've grown used to disrespect, and we've grown used to suffrage. And with topics like these, if we go and handle them with enough care, we can create the change that we want to see in the world. Thank you so much for your time. Once again, this has been Academic Machinery with V. That is me. I am very happy that I get to go ahead and do this kind of podcast for you guys. I want to go and help go and shoot rocket somebody's success with this little podcast. So thank you once again for the opportunity, and you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.